Well, hello, good morning, and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing. Today, I'm your host, Rich Benfield. I'm standing in for Stephen Ridgway, and it is Monday, the 6th of January, 2025, and it's 8:30 in the morning. So, jumping over to the headlines, we have got today a fairly quiet one, actually. There hasn't been a huge amount in the cyber news recently over the last few days. So, here's what we've got for you this morning. PlayfulGhost delivered via phishing and SEO poisoning in Trojanized VPN apps. US sanctions Chinese cybersecurity firm for state-backed hacking campaigns. Windows 10 users urged to upgrade to avoid security fiasco. New Firescam Android data theft malware poses as Telegram premium app. And Tenable CEO has unfortunately passed away at the age of 54. So, back to the top. PlayfulGhost delivered via phishing and SEO poisoning in Trojanized VPN apps. Cybersecurity researchers have flagged a new malware called PlayfulGhost that comes with a wide range of information gathering features like keylogging, screen capture, audio capture, remote shell, and file transfer and execution. The backdoor, according to Google's managed defense team, shares functional overlaps with a known remote administration tool referred to as GhostRat, which has its source code publicly leaked in 2008. PlayfulGhost's initial access pathways include the use of phishing emails bearing code of conduct related lures or search engine optimization poisoning techniques to distribute Trojanized versions of legitimate VPN apps like Let's VPN. In one phishing case, the infection begins by tricking the victim into opening a malicious RAR archive disguised as an image file by using a JPEG extension, the company said. When extracted and executed by the victim, the archive drops a malicious Windows executable, which eventually downloads and executes PlayfulGhost from a remote server. Attack chains employing SEO poisoning, on the other hand, seek to deceive unsuspecting users into downloading a malware-laced installer for Let's VPN, which, when launched, drops an interim payload responsible for retrieving the backdoor components. Okay, so obviously mitigation is pretty simple on this one. Just download the VPN from the official source. Watch those URLs, check those certificates, and make sure you're going direct to your VPN vendor's website in order to download the VPN software. Next, US sanctions Chinese cybersecurity firm for state-backed hacking campaigns. The US Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, that's OFAC for short, on Friday issued sanctions against a Beijing-based cybersecurity company known as Integrity Technology Group. Oh, the irony. Incorporated for orchestrating several cyber attacks against US victims. These attacks have been publicly attributed to a Chinese state-sponsored threat actor tracked as Flax Typhoon, which was outed last year as operating an Internet of Things botnet called Raptor Train. The hacking crew has been active since at least mid-2021, targeting various entities across North America, Europe, Africa, and across Asia. Attacks mounted by Flax Typhoon have typically leveraged known vulnerabilities to gain initial access to victims' computers and then make use of legitimate remote access software to maintain persistent access. The Treasury Department described Chinese malicious cyber actors as one of the most active and most persistent threats to US national security, repeatedly targeting US government systems, including those associated with the federal agency. The Treasury Department will not hesitate to hold malicious cyber actors and their enablers accountable for their actions, said the acting Undersecretary of the Treasury for TerraVision. Wow, great band, TerraVision, if you don't remember those. Anyway, so that was said by the acting Undersecretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, Bradley T. Smith. The United States will use all available tools to disrupt these threats as we continue working collaboratively to harden public and private sector cyber defenses. Integrity Group, also known as Yongxing Xinjiang, have been accused of providing infrastructure support to Flax Typhoon cyber campaigns between mid-2022 and late 2023. with the US Department of State classifying it as a government contractor with ties to the People's Republic of China and their Ministry of State Security. It was established in September 2010. It provides services to country and municipal state security and public security bureaus, as well as other PRC, that's People's Republic of China, cybersecurity government contractors, the State Department noted. Flax Typhoon hackers have successfully targeted multiple US and foreign corporations, universities, government agencies, telecommunications providers, and media organizations. Next up, we have Windows 10 users urged to upgrade to avoid security fiasco. So this comes from cybersecurity firm ESET, and they're urging Windows 10 users to upgrade to Windows 11 or Linux to avoid a security fiasco as a 10-year-old operating system nears the end of support in October 2025. Is anybody else shocked that Windows 10 is now 10 years old? I don't know where the time's going. It's incredible, really. So ESET say it's 5 minutes to 12 to avoid a security fiasco for 2025. We strongly advise all users not to wait until October, but to switch to Windows 11 immediately, or choose an alternative operating system if their device cannot be updated to the latest Windows operating system. Otherwise, users expose themselves to considerable security risks and make themselves vulnerable to dangerous cyber attacks and data loss. Problem is that there's a lot of older TPM chips floating around, which will block you from upgrading to Windows 11. Now, there are cracked, I say cracked, there are adjusted versions of Windows 11 available that cut out some of the TPM stuff so that you can run it on earlier hardware. But I think at this stage, you've got to think to yourself, do I really want to bypass a security feature just to run the latest version of Windows? I think maybe switching to Linux might be a better option at this point for those older devices that don't have an up-to-date TPM chip in order to run Windows 11. So, you can achieve at home and mass deploying on an enterprise scale. So it's hardly surprising that a lot of enterprises are slower to catch up. Also, that being said, gamers' hardware is generally up to the job because, they're in a constant cycle of upgrading and replacing components, whereas businesses tend to sweat the assets a bit longer and tend to start off at a lower spec to begin with. Okay. So next up, let's talk about the new Firescam Android data theft malware that's pretending to be Telegram Premium. So a new Android malware named Firescam is being distributed as a premium version of the Telegram app via phishing websites on GitHub that mimic the Rustore, Russia's app market for mobile devices. Okay, so this may or may not cause you any grief whatsoever, but it's certainly worth being aware of. There's a lot of fake apps out there, but this is a nasty one, and there's every chance that it might end up in other stores. So Rustore, launched in May 2022 by the Russian internet group VK, that's vContact, as an alternative to Google Play and Apple's App Store, following Western sanctions that impacted Russian users' access to mobile software. It hosts apps that are compliant with Russian regulations, and it was created with the support of the Russian Ministry of Digital Development. According to researchers at threat management company Cyfirma, the malicious GitHub page mimicking Rustore first delivers a dropper module called getappsru.apk. The dropper APK is obfuscated using DexGuard to evade detection and acquires permissions that allow it to identify installed apps, give it access to the device's storage, and install additional packages. Next, it extracts and installs the main malware payload, which is telegrampremium.apk, which requests permissions to monitor notifications, clipboard data, SMS, telephony services, and a few other bits and pieces. And upon execution, a deceptive web view screen showing a Telegram login page steals a user's credentials for the messaging service. Firescam establishes the communication with a Firebase real-time database where it uploads stolen data in real time and registers a compromised device with unique identifiers for tracking purposes. And Cyfirma reports that stolen data is only stored in the database temporarily and then wiped, presumably after the threat actors filtered it for valuable information and copied it to a different location. The malware also opens a persistent WebSocket connection with the Firebase C2 endpoint for real-time command execution, like requesting specific data, triggering immediate uploads to the Firebase database, downloading and executing additional payloads, or adjusting surveillance parameters. Firescam can also monitor changes in the screen activity, capturing on-off events and log the active app at the time, as well as activity data for events lasting more than 1,000 milliseconds. The malware also meticulously monitors any e-commerce transactions attempting to capture sensitive financial data. Anything the user types, drags and drops, copies to clipboard, and intercepts even data automatically filled from password managers or exchanges between apps, categorized and exfiltrated to the threat actors. So that's quite a strong one, isn't it? Although Cyfirma does not have any hints pointing to Firescam's operators, the researchers say that the malware is a sophisticated and multifaceted threat that employs advanced evasion techniques. The company recommends users to execute caution when opening files from potentially untrusted sources or when clicking on familiar links. Okay, finally today, the sad news that Tenable CEO Amit Yoran passed away at the age of 54. Tenable Holdings Inc. has announced with profound sadness the unexpected passing of its chairman and chief executive officer, Amit Yoran, who succumbed to a battle with cancer on January 3rd, 2025. A visionary leader, Yoran was a pioneer in the cybersecurity industry, dedicating his career to advancing digital safety and leaving an enduring legacy within the global cybersecurity community. Under his leadership, Tenable emerged as a global leader in exposure management, shaping the industry through innovative solutions and redefining how organizations manage cyber risk. Reflecting on his contributions, Art Coviello, Tenable's lead independent director, remarked, "Amit was an extraordinary leader, colleague, and friend. His passion for cybersecurity, his strategic vision, and his ability to inspire those around him have shaped Tenable's culture and mission. His legacy will continue to guide us as we move forward," Tenable said in a statement. Full details of his career background, his innovations, and his leadership are available all over the internet, so we don't need to cover that here. But that is it for this morning's daily cyber briefing. Hope you found something of value in there, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. The links will be posted on all the socials to these 5 articles we've covered this morning. And so if you wish to read them in more detail, you're more than welcome to. Thank you very much indeed, and have a great day.